Sorry, sorry. It's almost over. We're sort of. You see, is I'm surprised that my work here is almost done at defending the my work here at defending the live action Murph movies is almost over. My work here is almost done, and the only thing near left, the only enemy left I know not gonna return is the evil orange guy. Do I know that he's not gonna come back? At least not for a while, not for a very long time. So we're on our finals reviewers at defending the live action Murph movies. We did it. We defended the live action Murph movies. Hop. We defended the movie Hop and the Sonic movies. We're in the end game. We defended the movie Hop and we defended the Sonic movies and the live action Murph movies. We're in the end game. The only thing left was left to defend at the live action Murph movies. So it's not much. It's over. It's almost over. My work here is almost over. The only enemy left is the mysterious baby oil cosplayer. The only enemy left is the mysterious guy that was dressed as a baby oil. Oh, I think his name was Lord Pythor or something. I heard he's a live action Murph hunter. He hunts down the live action Murph. Yeah, he want to hunt down the naughties and the live action Murph Lord Pythor. We gotta stop him. He's a live action Murph hunter. He's evil. His name is Lord Pythor, I guess. And he's a bad guy. The first time I faced him, he was dressed as a baby oil. The last time I faced him, but I don't know when he gonna strike next. The evil Lord Pythor. But we find out later on. But yeah, this is a bonus defend too. So this is a extra. This is an extra video of defending the live action Murph movie with a bonus to defend. So yeah.
Special effects. Of course, there's nothing really too special about the effects in the first one, so why would
Are you sure about that?
things be different this time around? It was directed again by Raja Gosnell, and it brings back most of the previous cast. The same sets are used, it's almost the same kind of story. You'd really have to convince me that this wasn't made at the same time as the first one. It's almost like they shot enough footage to make up two movies, and when the first one was successful, they thought, well, we have enough deleted scenes, might as well make a second one, and so they did, and it wasn't as successful as the 2011 movie, but it's
It deserved to be successful, but it sadly didn't. But it deserved to have a lot of money in the box office.
still made way too much money for me to ignore it. I also can't ignore it because I was requested to watch it by Ryan on Patreon. Going through all the Sony animated features, I've been surprised by all the highs and lows. Some of them turn out better than I could have ever imagined, and others don't end up being as bad as speculated. The first SMURFS was just boring, and the premise seemed pretty tired and overdone, but it never got to the point of annoyance. I watched it, I liked that it was set in New York because New York is pretty, and it left most of the potty humor at home. This time around, it's a lot of the same, just a boring story, not much really interesting going on. There's a funny line.
It's not a boring story, not at all.
Here and there, but mostly I'm just flabbergasted that this is the best they could come up with. Live action Smurfs end up being in the real world through a magical portal. That's really no fun. Neil Patrick Harris is...
It is fun. The good to the real world.
Still the same. Him and Jayma Mays give fine performances. He's still a dick at times, though. Even more.
Yeah, we can agree on that. Yeah, we can agree. We can agree on that part.
More so than the first movie because we're introduced to his stepfather, played by Brendan Gleeson.
Yeah, he's a jerk to his stepfather. You should be nice to your father. You should be more nicer to your father.
Character he treats poorly throughout most of the feature, despite the fact that the stepfather is quite lovely.
Yeah, indeed he is. Yes, he is.
It's supposed to be a character building moment, but it comes off as underwritten and mean-spirited. There's a point where Brendan Gleeson turns into a duck, and that actually manages to make me laugh. It's just such a strange idea to bring up in a movie about the Smurfs. We didn't really need a talking duck too, but it's funny. Until he transforms back, which ends up ruining the entire joke, since he ends up goofily landing in a laundry basket on the sidewalk. It really throws off any of the fun I was having with it earlier. Papa Smurf is still played by Jonathan Winters, which ends up being his final role. Kind of a bad note to end on, but he still delivers an excellent...
No, it's not. Rest in peace. Rest in peace, brave soldier.
Calming performance that he always did. The only issue I have is that they push his memorial too deep into credits. It should have been right as the movie ended, but that's a non-issue. At least they paid some. You're probably wondering why I haven't talked about the Smurf story, but that's because I don't really know what the story is this time around. Smurfette was transformed by Papa Smurf from a naughty to a traditional blue being, which I think can be interpreted as some sort of creepy racism, with the whole racial transformation, if you want to look at it that way. But don't worry, there's 2 scenes where the entire village of men surround the girls and catcall them, which is awkward. Papa just happens to have stones this time around, which can bring them to the city, unlike the first movie where it was just some random portal. Kind of makes you wonder why they felt so strongly about taking this route again that they had to come up with a stupid explanation like that. Eventually, they'd make
another stupid explanation.
A third movie, but it was out of continuity and was fully animated. No live action or Neil Patrick Harris to be found.
Tragic. Very tragic.
I haven't seen it, but it already looks a lot more appealing than these CGI creations. It's not really the fault of anyone. The blue coloring just never matches well with the scenery, and the eyes just bug me. There's just way too much Smurf and blue. There's a flying scene as well, which, after seeing things like How to Train Your Dragon, Avatar, and so many movies involving aeronautics, we finally have an example of a bad flying scene. Gargamel is back, and he's apparently
not that bad. Not that bad at all. Not bad.
Famous magician in the real world.
It's not that bad. No, it's not.
Which is kind of funny. And unless I'm smurfing and singing, I think Azrael looks a lot better this time around. For as much as this movie looks kind of ugly, the animation is still... Really sure why they decided to get rid of Brainy Smurf though and swap them for Vanity Smurf. Maybe it's easier to animate, or maybe it was to use more John Oliver, which you can't ever complain about more John Oliver, but that also means we get less of Anton Yelkin. It's kind of weird. He was a main character in the first movie, but this time around it seems like he's barely there. Smurfette gets kidnapped and manipulated by Gargamel, but only to a point, and she spends some time with the Naughties, which are the Smurf-like creations of Gargamel's, and it's just scene after scene of garbage. It's just...
No, it's not! It's not garbage! No. It's not the garbage! It's not the garbage! Not at all.
Boring. Nothing happens. It's like fast food for children. They won't get much out of it.
I love fast food. It's delicious. I love fast food. It's very delicious.
It's probably not the best thing for them, but they get some colorful toys out of it. I guess I just don't see the...
Yes, indeed it is. Yes, we get some very good toys out of it. Very good.
the point of basically remaking the first movie. Come on, let's explore the Smurf Village. Let's see some more goofy or creative animation.
No. You gotta accept that it's the real world. An animated character going to the real world.
I don't need to see Smurf butts or 1/5 of How I Met Your Mother. It's not a...
Now for the bonus. I guess. Yeah. Now I gotta look for the bonus. Oh, there it is. The bonus.
I don't know anything about the Smurfs. I know about the TV show.
Oh, so you do know about the TV show? Well, then you do know about the Smurfs, then.
I know the theme song. I know it's based on a comic created by Peo. I think the animation looks kind of fun. The character designs are very appealing. I know the characters are blue. Let's face it, the whole thing just went over my head. I was never invested in this franchise. So don't be surprised if I didn't really care when they made a 2011 Smurfs film. You know, people were saying it was so bad that it was ruining the original.
No, it's not bad. No, it's not bad. It's not ruining the original
series, or, you know, it was an absolute stain on the original comics. But
no, it wasn't. Those people were dumb as Koopas. Those people were dumb as Koopa. They really think that. And they really thought that. Those people were dumb as Koopas. They were idiot fools to think the live action Smurf movie was garbage. They were idiots, morons. And not garbage. It's very good.
Honestly, I don't think movies really have that much power. I still hear bad things about this all the time, just like the Scooby-Doo films, which were directed by Raja Gosnell, who also directed the Smurfs. I have seen Show Dogs, which was also directed by Raja Gosnell. I think I was one of the few people that saw it this year, so having sat through that, this was an easy breeze. A boring breeze for sure, but it was easy. I don't think I would go as far as what the cover is saying, adorable and sweet perfect for family fun, which apparently was quoted by the Family Channel. Yeah, that's a trustworthy source, I suppose. In any case, the Smurfs. It exists. This was a Patreon request from Ryan, who's been asking me to do all the Sony animation films in order. So if you want to be like him, you can go over to my Patreon, you can support it, support me, and you can get all kinds of different perks, including asking me to review any movie that I haven't reviewed already. The opening scenes at the Smurf Village seem to emulate the original. It feels like an appropriate tribute. The village is full of characters who are named after their specific personalities, or the other way around. How does all of that work anyway? And I guess this is supposed to be Belgium, but the Smurfs village is hidden in the force field. We also meet the villain, Gargamel, played by Hank Azaria. This is a good casting decision. The character itself is already pretty silly, and having him stick out of the New York setting actually does make me laugh. There's a lot of random cameos playing the Smurfs, from John Oliver, BJ Novak, and even Paul Rubens. They're not the main characters, but you can at least audibly understand the actors, unlike Alvin and the Chipmunks, where the voices are high-pitched, so the casting high-profile celebrities is pointless. The main cast is comprised of the likes of George Lopez, Fred Armisen, and Katy Perry. They're all okay, I guess. If you want to spend that kind of money on a voice cast, go ahead. I did appreciate Jonathan Winters returning to the role of Papa Smurf. He would pass away only 2 years later, so I'm glad we still got some work out of the legendary comedian. Then again, if he knew just how much advertising this movie would sink into, he'd probably go to the Sony corporate office and respond this way.
I don't think he wouldn't be the... I don't think he would react aggressively that way. No, I think he wouldn't react like that. He has pride. He has honor.
Seriously, this has tons of advertising and was meant to advertise the Smurfs brand to a new generation, and even has a live-action character whose job is in advertising. It really makes me think that the advertising department themselves wrote the screenplay, and that might not be too far-fetched since it was written by 4 people. There's a portal that brings them to New York, because of course there is, and they run away from Gargamel, who manages to find the villain because of Clumsy Smurf, played by the late Anton Yelkin.
They went to get a stargazer so Papa can smurf a blue moon to get us home.
And they went without you?
Yeah. I mean, who knows why?
As to why they'd continue to hang out with a character like Clumsy, I have no idea, but it does become a focal point of the story. Kind of. It's supposed to be Clumsy's chance to prove himself. There isn't a lot of digging into this, though. But hey, I like the work Yelkin did for the role, so that's fine. Then they meet Neil Patrick Harris and Jayma Mays. I'm sure they have character names, but, well, like I have the brain capacity to remember that. They're the average Americans who live in a great New York apartment, and they all have great jobs in advertising, and he makes great successful logos and
Good job. I love advertising. It's very good.
matter of minutes, it's so inspirational. And when they find the Smurfs, they react like normal human beings. You see, it's all chipper in the world's greatest city. As a side note, though, I'm a sucker for scenery of modern-day New York in any movie. The couple is having a baby, and I guess the Smurfs are meant to be the
Babies. Horrible creatures. Disgusting creatures. I hate babies.
training run for them, but at one point, Harris says something so terrible that it kind of makes his character unredeemable.
I never wanted a house full of little people running around.
I understand character flaws, but this one, for a kid's movie, it just goes too far. It doesn't even really seem like
Yeah, I hate babies.
they do anything to make up for it. Everything is pretty by the numbers. If you've watched any other one of these modern-day live-action animation hybrids based on an existing property, you've basically seen this movie. And like the rest of those, I'm more okay with watching them than other cinephiles. The stuff that really gets on people's nerves, like the constant use of the word Smurf, it doesn't really bother me too much. There's cringy moments, like when Katy Perry portrayed Smurfette and says, "I kissed a Smurf and I liked it."
I kissed a Smurf and I liked it?
I really hope she was paid a lot to say that, but
Reference. What a reference.
I also find a few things funny. Narrator Smurf is silly. There's a joke about passive-aggressive Smurf. That's about it.
I'll tell you who I don't miss. Passive-aggressive Smurf.
Yeah. He's always so nice, but when he leaves, you feel bad.
I think this one's an easy skip. As to why it's a Sony animation film, I have no idea. It's the only studio that I can think of that uses the animation moniker for live-action hybrids. There's a couple more of these, but for the meantime, I think I'm gonna go ahead and watch some more Blu-rays and play some Guitar Hero, and while I'm at it, I think I'll go buy some tickets for Blue Man.
Okay, that was surprisingly world. That surprisingly went really well. He fought for the. He's gonna buy some merchandise. Good for him. The advertising work. Yeah, the advertising work. Good for him. He's gonna buy merchandise. That went really well. That went really well. He's gonna buy merchandise. The advertising work.
Group as well. I don't know, every time I watch the Smurfs, I just feel the need to do all that. Oh, that's weird. I think there's something behind the cover of this. Smurfs 2?
Oh yeah, I like the best Smurf movie. Yeah, Smurf 2. Very good.
There's 2 of them! Hey, everyone.
Yep, there are 2 of them. Yep, there are 2 of them.
Thanks for watching this video. And what do you think of the Smurfs? Do you think it's really...
I like it. It's very good. I'm a simp for the naughties. I am a simp for this version of the Smurf. I am a simp for the live action version of the Murph. So yep.
As bad as everyone says, or is
it's not as bad as everybody says. They're on weed.
there something you like about it? Tell me what you think.
The naughty Bexy, she's beautiful. That's what I love about the live action Murph movies. The naughties. She's very beautiful. They're very beautiful.
I want to thank everyone for supporting me on Patreon. That would be Movie Johnson, Lucas, and Ryan. Another series.
Hola, soy Sonia.
I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you in the final. I guess. See you in the final video defending the live action Murph movie. Since the orange guy not gonna appear, since the orange guy reviewer not gonna make an appearance. Goodbye, everybody. We saved the live action Murph movies. We're saving the live action Murph movies now.